I'm Bill Fremgen.
I'm Renee Fremgen.
Well, the reason we moved to Boise is that we were in Southern California back in the 90s and had just gone through the riots down there and knew we needed to find a better place to raise our children. So I ended up getting an offer from BMC West at the time back in 1997, and we moved here and raised all three of our kids here for 20 years, and it was a great family-friendly environment.
We were really happy to get out of the area that we were. I just didn't feel like it was a safe place to raise children, and the schools made me nervous where we were living, but I had a great experience with the schools here with my kids.
So we lived here for 20 years the first time, and then we did a brief stint in Northern California around the Sacramento area in 2017 to 2021. I ended up having an opportunity to move back here, and after re-experiencing California for the second time, we decided that we wanted to get back here, and we're glad we did. It's just way more laid back and just a lot less stress. My primary activities are mountain biking. I get out in the foothills as often as I can, pretty much year round.
We had a boat for many years, and we boated all over the valley and loved that. The kids learned how to do every kind of water sport there was, and we could be at a lake in 30 minutes or less in most cases, and several different lakes that we could visit. We probably did that every weekend for about 10 years when our kids were growing up. They also were really into snow skiing and snowboarding, and they learned how to do that up at Bogus Basin, and it was so close. It's 45 minutes away from us. We lived on the west side of town at that time, that they could drive themselves up there every weekend. So that was their Christmas present every year, was a ski pass.
And even when we couldn't take them, they'd go jump on a bus in Eagle and take themselves up. So, you know, it's a safe enough community that you can trust your kids to be able to go out and do an activity like that and not worry. What we like most about the Boise area is it's got the big city amenities, but a small town feel. So we're able to get a lot of the things we really liked in the bigger cities we've lived in, you know, be it Chicago, Phoenix, or LA, but we don't have to deal with a lot of the downside of the big cities like the ones I just mentioned.
The traffic, the parking, you can get
the
crime. You can go downtown easily. Everything's within about 20 minutes wherever you live in Boise. And we could go downtown and have dinner. We had season tickets to the Morrison Center, so we went to the ballet and the theater. It was no problem. When we lived in the Los Angeles area, we never did those things because it was such a production to drive and park, and we just found it so
and expense,
easy.
Yeah, everything was so expensive.
Much more affordable to do those things here. There still is a local baseball team, so we could take the kids to see baseball games, and it was just all so easy, so much simpler than any other city that we've lived in.
Very family friendly, and the people were much more laid back and friendly. So we really like the feel that you have when you go out around town in Boise.
There's just always an event going on that is family friendly that you can go to with your family, take your kids to. There's so many sports opportunities for the kids as well. Our kids participated in sports growing up all through their childhood, and we were very involved in that. And it was just so much fun to be part of that community where we were all on the same page, just trying to raise kids and help them to have a healthy, wholesome growing up experience, and they got that here. It's just really nice and refreshing to be somewhere where it's like what we grew up in the Midwest. It's very family friendly, and people are friendly, and they wave at you out of their car window, which is something I grew up with, but I didn't experience in other areas that I lived.
Boise, compared to Chicago or Phoenix or LA, places where we previously lived, obviously we don't have the big league sports teams like we had, but I think it's more fun to go to the BSU games or the Boise Hawks, or the hockey, the
Steelheads.
We don't mind that they're not major league. We still have fun. We still have go to tailgates and meet with people. So we've been to the big city, Dodgers, we've been to the Rams, we've been to the Raiders. I'd rather go to these games here in Boise. It just has a more camaraderie. It's a lot simpler, and it's a lot less of a production and expense. I think what makes Boise unique is it's got the big city amenities with a small town feel. And it also has a wide variety of outdoor activities and the ability to be outdoors because it doesn't rain a lot here. So we can go out and hike and snowshoe and boat and mountain bike pretty much 300 days a year. So that is key to us back when we were, and it's all close and accessible. Back in Southern California, I had to drive 45 minutes to do anything, so you have to pack up your gear and get down the highway. Here, you just go 20 minutes and you're in the foothills and you're doing what you love to do.
The weather is so ideal here. It's my ideal climate because you have a season change every season. You know that you're in a different season, but it's mild. Every season is mild. And we've lived in areas of the country with really extreme seasons. We've lived in Arizona and experienced
extreme heat,
blazing summers that were unbearable to be outside, and the Midwest where we're both from, and winters that you couldn't
50 below wind chill. We don't have those extremes here.
Without shoveling snow to get out your front door. So we don't have those extremes. It's perfect here all year long, but yet there's still a change of seasons. So you still have the trees change colors, and they're beautiful. We're known as the city of trees, and that's why, because we are full of trees and they're just beautiful all year long.
Being able to get to your job around here, there's opportunities to live within 10, 15 minutes of your work. Whereas when we were in other big cities, in order to find affordable housing, sometimes you'd have an hour to 1 hour and a half type commute, and you end up burning up a lot of your week just commuting and parking and paying all the expense associated with that. So it's really nice to be able to drive down the back roads for 10 minutes, be at your work, parking, free parking at your office, and be able to go. I can even go home for lunch. It's very very nice to have that time back in my life. One thing that's really important to me about living in Boise is that they respect our liberties. When we were in California, they shut down our gyms, they shut down our church, they shut down a lot of the restaurants and killed a lot of small businesses. Whereas here, they're very liberty oriented, and so people could still go to church, they could go to the gym, and they could make their own decisions. When we lived in California, they told you what you needed to do, and I didn't like that type of environment. I didn't think that adults needed to be told what to do. Give us the information, we'll make our own decisions, and that's what we can do in Idaho, and we really appreciate that.